Well, Winston Churchill was very much a part of Fighter Command headquarters, and he frequently used to come down and go into Air Chief Marshal Sir Hugh Dowding, the one who had the Dowding system, which was the way radar was used in order to track enemy aircraft. And he used to visit his room frequently. And when that happened, he would then, if there was a big event on, either a big bombing raid by the Germans or any of our raids going out, or any special occasion, he would come into the filter room on the balcony and he would look over, watch what we were doing. He would always have a cigar in his mouth, but it was never lit. Rex Harrison was an air raid warning officer who worked in the operations room, but would frequently come into, when there were big raids on Britain, he would frequently come in to see the filter room advance warning of them before they hit the coast. But he was in the same officers' mess as me, and it happened to be one of the only joint officers' messes where male and female were. At the time, he was courting Lily Palmer, although he was still married to his first wife. And these very explicit conversations were going on just a few feet from us, because there was only one telephone in the officers' mess. But then he would join us for breakfast, and he had the most awful eating manners. His toast would be chewed in his mouth and come out of the side, so I didn't find him at all attractive. I met Dylan Thomas at the same time as Augustus John, and it was in a bar in London, in the Café de Paris. He used to be up there, the two of them used to be up there frequently, and because Augustus John had fathered one of the WAF officers that I was working with via one of his gypsy ladies, she often used to take a group of us up there, and that's how I met him in the bar. They were both pretty touchy-feely people, and, you know, none of us got away without having our bottoms pinched, I can assure you. Well, Ember Teeth was the colonel in charge of a territorial army, and I was running a hotel in Devon, and he came every year for their annual 2 weeks camp, and my hotel was chosen for the dinner at the end. I found him asexual. I found he didn't seem to really be terribly interested in people, very aloof, most certainly was not at all interested in talking to women, and we were brushed aside. But then he didn't seem to be terribly friendly with the other officers either. Well, John Barrowman appears as one of the lost people in my book, and John Barrowman is a resident in the village of Sully, where I live, and he says it's the place he comes to chill out. He's not there all that often because he's so much in demand. He goes over to the States a lot. But I met him just by chance because he and his partner, Scott, visited a neighbour and saw my book of One Woman's War. And it happened to be a book that Scott had wanted to purchase at Bletchley, but had been persuaded not to because the taxi was waiting for him. And the neighbour said, "Oh, well, Eileen lives in the village. I'll get her to send you one." So they said, "Oh, get her to come down. We'd like to meet her." And that's what happened. That's how I first met them. And I was taken over to his house, and I was let in, and John met me at the door, and I went round the corner, and there was a Dalek. So he really takes his work home with him.